Stop scrolling. This is not random chosen one. Stop. Do not treat this as background noise. Do not listen halfway, and do not assume this is for everyone, because it isn't. This message did not reach you by accident, not by algorithm, not by chance, not because you were just watching videos. You are here because timing aligned, and timing is how heaven speaks. God has never spoken like this before, not publicly, not directly, not without symbols or intermediaries. But today, something is different. You are different. Why this message feels heavier than others? If you feel pressure in your chest right now, if something inside you feels alert, uneasy, emotional, or deeply focused, that is not fear. That is recognition. Truth does not always feel comforting at first. Sometimes truth feels like weight because responsibility comes with it. Most messages inspire. This one summons, and only those who have been prepared can hear it without breaking. God says, this was never for the crowd. You've noticed something your whole life, even if you never said it out loud. You never fully blended in. No matter where you went, school, work, friendships, family gatherings, you could function, but you never fully belonged. Not because you were broken, not because you were antisocial, but because you were never designed for the crowd. God says, I do not shape every vessel the same way. Some are built to carry weight, others would spill. That's why your life felt heavier. The silence that almost destroyed you. Be honest. There were moments when you prayed and nothing happened. Moments when you cried and nothing changed. Moments when you waited and heaven stayed quiet. And that silence hurt more than rejection ever could, because rejection comes from people, but silence felt like it came from God. You wondered, did I do something wrong? Am I being punished? Did God forget me? No one knew how close you were to giving up. No one saw the private battles. No one heard the conversations you had with yourself at night. But God did. And God says now, my silence was not absence. It was restraint. Why God did not speak sooner? God did not speak earlier because you were not ready to hear this without misusing it. If this message had come earlier, ego would have risen, fear would have frozen you, pride would have exposed you, and exposure, before protection is complete, is dangerous. So heaven waited. You thought you were being delayed. In reality, you were being shielded. You were being stripped, not abandoned. Look back carefully. What left your life wasn't random. Some people disappeared without explanation. Some opportunities collapsed suddenly. Some paths closed right when you thought you were close. You thought it was loss. God says, I was removing what could not survive where I am taking you. Weak connections cannot survive strong callings. Unprepared minds cannot hold future authority. So, things fell apart on purpose. Why you felt isolated, even around people chosen. 1. Here is something God has never said this clearly before. Isolation was not your punishment. It was your training ground. When you were alone, you learned discernment. You learned self-control. You learned how to hear without noise. Crowds dull sensitivity. Isolation sharpens it. That's why you had to walk alone for a while. The first time God says this directly. This is the sentence heaven has never spoken publicly before. I break what I plan to elevate, not to destroy it, but to remove internal weakness before external pressure arrives. Elevation without preparation crushes people. You've seen it happen to others. That's why your rise was delayed. You were not failing. You were evolving every time you thought you were behind, every time you felt stuck, every time progress seemed invisible. Something inside you was being rewired. patience, resilience, discernment, silence. These are not accidental traits. They are requirements. God says, "This is why you couldn't quit." You tried to walk away. You tried to numb yourself. You tried to distract your calling, but something always pulled you back. That pull was not guilt, it was assignment. God says, "I placed restlessness in you so you would never settle for less than what I designed." That's why comfort never satisfied you for long. Why this message is only for you. Many will hear these words, few will receive them. Because receiving requires humility, responsibility, restraint. You are not meant to announce what's coming. You are meant to protect it. That instruction will matter more in the next part than you realize. Pause. This is a checkpoint. Before you continue, ask yourself honestly, have I survived things that should have broken me? Have I been protected in moments I can't explain? Do I feel a responsibility when I hear truth? If the answer is yes, then this message found the right person. Before you continue, a quiet warning. Chosen one. This is where many people drop off. Not because the words stop making sense, but because truth starts demanding discipline. Up to now, you've survived pain. From here onward, you must survive success. And success tests people in ways pain never could. God says, pain revealed who stayed. Blessing will reveal who must be kept away. God reveals the real reason. Your blessing was delayed. You were told all your life that delay means denial. But heaven says something different. God says, I delayed you because the environment around you was not safe for what I placed inside you. Read that again. Your blessing wasn't late. Your surroundings were unprepared. If what is coming had arrived earlier, people would have taken credit. Others would have drained it. Some would have tried to control it. And worst of all, you might have trusted the wrong voices. So God waited. Not for the blessing to be ready, but for you to become selective. Why God took people away before the breakthrough. This part hurts the most. Some of the people you lost were not evil, were not enemies, even loved you in their own way, but they were seasonal, not eternal. God says, everyone who loves you is not allowed to go where I'm taking you. Certain people are good for survival. Others are required for elevation. Very few are capable of both. So God separated you quietly. You thought you were being rejected. In reality, you were being positioned. The truth about the loneliness you felt. Chosen one. Here is something God has never explained openly before. Loneliness was the cost of clarity. When people left, noise left with them. And in that quiet, your intuition sharpened, your discernment grew, your dependence shifted. Crowds can drown divine direction. So God reduced the crowd. God says, silence will protect you more than prayer. This is hard for many to accept. God says, in the next season, silence will protect you more than explanation. Not everyone needs access to your plans. Not everyone deserves to know what God promised you. Because once people know, opinions increase, jealousy activates, interference begins. Heaven does not announce everything in advance. It moves quietly, then reveals outcomes. Why you feel the urge to say less lately? Have you noticed? You talk less. You explain less. You share less. That is not emotional shutdown. That is spiritual maturity. God says, I am teaching you to guard what is still forming. Seeds grow best underground. The dangerous part of blessing. No one talks about pain, teaches endurance. Blessing tests character. Many people lose themselves when life finally improves. Discipline disappears. Gratitude fades. Boundaries weaken. God says, I am not just giving you something. I am trusting you with it. And trust requires restraint. Why God is warning you before the breakthrough. Heaven rarely warns people after success. Warnings come before, not after. God says, what I am giving you will attract attention you did not ask for. Some attention will feel supportive. Some will feel curious. Some will feel uncomfortable. Not all attention is safe. That's why discretion matters. God reveals the first test of elevation. Here it is. The first test is not money, not fame, not recognition. The first test is who you tell. If you announce too early, protection weakens pressure, increases envy, awakens. God says, what I whisper to you is not meant to be shouted. You will be misunderstood, and that is intentional. Chosen one, something important. When you stop explaining yourself, people will misunderstand you. Let them. Misunderstanding filters access. God says, I allow misunderstanding to protect focus. Those who need to know will know. The rest are distractions. Why you can't go back to who you were. After hearing this truth, something changes. You won't be able to overshare. Chase validation. Explain your vision to everyone. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're accountable now. God does not reveal without expectation. The internal shift has already begun. Notice how you feel right now. More aware, more grounded, more serious. That's not fear. That's alignment. God says, once I speak, responsibility awakens. And now you understand why this message is heavy. Pause. This is another checkpoint. Ask yourself honestly, can I keep quiet even when excited? Can I protect what God gives me? Can I walk alone a little longer if needed? If yes, then you're closer than you think.